So, good morning, everyone, and welcome here for the third AWDC Town Hall already. First of all, I would like to say that we are very happy to see that so many of you are joining this digital information session, which means that this way of informing you is gaining visibility and is getting more well known every time we are organizing these town halls. We are no longer only reaching an Antwerp audience, but we are also reaching the international diamond industry, which is very good, of course. So let's start today's session and do that with something huge and with some very good news. I think that you all know what I am talking about, and is indeed the American import tariffs, and of course AWDC, that together with the European Commission and the Belgian government has managed to get an exemption for European natural diamonds from the American import tariffs, which is of course a huge win for Antwerp. I will give the honor to our CEO, Karen Rentmeesters, to explain you how we have achieved this and what this actually means for Antwerp as a diamond trading hub, but also for you as a diamandaire. So to all of you, enjoy this town hall, and to Karen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ina. Welcome everyone this morning for the third edition. As you know, we will do one each quarter, so there's one more that you will have this year. So as Ina says, I think a milestone achievement on the import tariffs for European diamonds. As Ina said, and as most of you, unless you live under a rock, pun intended, have noticed, is that we have been lobbying very hard for several months, together with partners in the industry, together with the Belgian government, who has been very strongly supporting this, and with the EU Commission to secure a US import tariff exemption for European diamonds, meaning diamonds polished in Europe. For those who are into legal lingo and have seen the document, it also speaks about rough diamonds, but as you all know, unfortunately, there's no rough diamond mines in Europe. So let's stick to what is important, and it is the polished diamonds that are polished in Europe. This exemption will apply, or does apply, retroactively from September 1st, 2025. I think in general, what it means is that as of the moment that we've announced, when you ship diamonds that are manufactured in Europe, you can count on it that on the CBP level, on the customs level in the US, those diamonds will be imported at 0%. Needless to say, this is a boost. It's a symbolical milestone, if not a boost for Antwerp's diamond industry. We do expect that more rough diamonds can be imported to be polished here. So our first priority currently is to re-engage the polishers that we have in Antwerp and that are currently on technical unemployment. But also, and this is a question that has been asked several times over the past days, is to simultaneously lobby for fast procedures to be able to recruit skilled foreign workers. So both are on our agenda. The goal obviously is to meet with the demand that is rising, which is great to hear. And the point should be that every stone that is intended to be cut in Antwerp, that we find a place and a polisher and a place where they can be polished. We work together with SBD, well known, I think, in the industry, for practical guidance. If you are looking for polishers, if you are looking for manufacturing units, if you are looking for ways to polish your diamonds here in Belgium, in Antwerp, please contact Melissa Smet from SBD. You can find her email address on this slide, melissasmet@sbd.be, because obviously they have a very strong finger on the pulse on who's available, what their specialities are, etc. For us, it's also important to be able to map how much demand there is and how this demand is being met, to be able to talk to our governments, which we're already doing, to enable potential recruitment of foreign workers. So those are the two, I think, main takeaways of this news. For all practical guidance, and I think most of you know this part of our website very well, on our website, www.awdc.be/tariffs, is where you find all the information, because obviously it becomes a little bit more complex when you dive into the details of this thing. There's one more thing that I want to add, based on some of the feedback that we've received. I think it's important for everyone, and this is a bit of a caution that I want to throw out there, is that our reputation in Antwerp is that we are a reliable and a trustworthy partner. I want to urge people to take that into account. I know a lot of people think that customs at the US side is not really concerned about checking information, etc. And this stems probably from the sanctions environment where a simple self-declaration was sufficient. We've spoken to a number of people in the administrations, and I want to just warn everyone and caution everyone that for tariffs, it's a totally different ballgame. The instructions that are given to the US administrations are very clear. This is about the biggest incentive in the current administration in the US. This is about bringing in money from tariffs. So they are taking this very seriously. So don't make the mistake of thinking that no one will pay attention. Again, for two reasons, because CBP will be watching and they will be verifying information. And secondly, because obviously our reputation as a trade hub, which is very high at the moment and considered as a reliable and trustworthy partner, is not something that we want to lose. So those are the two main takeaways that I want to give at this point in time. So I think we can move on to the next topic on our lineup, which is the trade figures. Traditionally, I think it's the third time that we now share with you some information. Please also be aware that information can be found on our website around trade figures. A ballpark overview, we're still in the red. I don't want to say anything that is not true. Situation is still, in comparison, we're not moving upwards, we're still moving downwards. But we do see, and I'll get to that in the next slides, we do see that there are some changes in terms of the figures that we record. But I think overall, you can see that we're still in a downward trend. Next slide, please. If we look at the rough, so this is the entire year compared to the entire previous year, so year on year. Those are figures that are available on our website. And very shortly, we will be also publishing the September figures. Obviously, it's a little early. It's the last day of September, so you got to give us a little bit time. But what you see in terms of rough being brought in, rough being exported, you still see the same double-digit decline, let's say around 25% in decline in both volumes and values. I do think it's clear for everyone that it's the sort of cumulative mix of challenges that we're facing in our industry. Those are well known. Competition of lab-grown diamonds. Tariffs obviously have played a major role as well in the entire pipeline. So those are all elements that I don't think need a lot of clarification, but are reflected in those figures. When we look at the polished figures, we see a very similar trend. I think here, especially the uncertainties of tariffs, knowing that we are a very international operating environment. If tariffs are bad for India or tariffs are bad for Belgium, everybody feels it. So again, this is not something, and I think we also made it clear in our communication around tariffs. Diamonds shouldn't feature on any tariff list anywhere in the world. So again, I think what we're seeing here reflects that mix of challenges that our industry is still facing. If we look at the next slide, I think it's even more highlighted. So what we see here is the top destination of the polish that is exported from Belgium to destinations outside the EU, or sorry, both. It's not outside the EU alone. And you see that, I mean, I don't think I need to give a lot more explanation, but you see, for example, the US minus 47% value change. We see it across the board, of course, Hong Kong still in decline. So I think there UK is the single one that sort of jumps out in the positive sense. But I think it's very clear, again, we see what is reflected on the global market in terms of uncertainties and challenges that we're facing. When we look at the figures for the top sources of rough by value, and we see the trends there, this, for me, I think everyone would agree, is a bit more positive and a sort of positive light in the entire sort of overview. We see the protagonists of production. We see Botswana, Angola, South Africa. And Canada, nice green figures, double digit. In the case of Botswana, 46.44% value change year on year. So those are encouraging figures. Again, I don't want to sugarcoat it because I don't think we're not yet at the point where we can say this might be a turning point. Let's hope that the boost that tariffs can give us can bring us in a better position. Let's hope that other countries get a zero exemption as well, so that the trade can stabilize. But I do wanted to highlight these positive figures for a second there. So I think that's it in terms of trade figures. And I'm happy to pass the floor to our Director of Diamond Office, Manuela. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Karen. Good morning, everybody. For Diamond Office, I would like to highlight a few points in this town hall. And I'll start with the first one, being the Diamond Office fee. As you all know, the fee has been adapted in July, and there was an increase of the minimum fee till 40 euros. Now our audit committee has decided that as of October, so that means for the invoices that you will receive at the beginning of November, if the value of the goods on your invoice is less than 20,000 euro, the minimum fee for that invoice will be lowered from 40 to 20 euros. So this will be as of the beginning of November on your invoice. Second point I would like to share with you is, I would like to present you our new dashboard. So the goal of this dashboard is to monitor the activities of the Diamond Office. So we keep track since the beginning of the year of the number of imports, exports, number of employees, experts, handling times, and so on. So here what you see is, for instance, the handling time of the imports as of the beginning of the year. You see that the blue one are the imports that came in and that are handled the same day. So that means they come in at noon and they are in your office before the evening. The orange being the shipments handled within 1 day means that they are handled within 24 hours. So goods delivered at noon will be before noon at your office the day after. So you see that if you look at the beginning of the year and you go further into the year, you see that there is a better situation. So the numbers of shipments handled the same day or within the 1 day are increasing. Only in August we see a small drop down, but this is a typical situation for the holiday season. But we have a positive trend. This is how the export handling time is visualized. So it starts from 93%. So let's say that almost 97, 98% of all the export shipments that are brought in the Diamond Office are handled the same day. Then if I can have the next slide. So here you see then the combination of the handling times of imports and exports. And then you see that the shipments handled the same day are about 60 till 70%. If we're talking about handling within 1 day, we are going to, let's say, about 80% of all the shipments that are coming in. So, and we see a positive evolution. With the dashboard, we also track the number of shipments where there was an issue. So here you see the issues month by month and also the reason why there was an issue. So it can be because of the value, the weight. in or out scope, origin, a combination of elements, or other things. So the values, so these are the number of cases. That is always a point for discussion. But you see that the most cases are due to a mistake in weight. Of course, weight is exact. So you put it on a scale and it is exact or it is not exact. So that is a thing that can be avoided. Same thing for in and out scope. We saw that since the beginning of the sanctions, there were a lot of issues with the issue in-out scope. Then everything went better, but we see again that there are frequently mistakes made on the declaration of in or out scope. So that is something we want to put in the attention. Please be careful with that point. I have next slide. So this was the dashboard. We go a little bit deeper into the number of cases that were blocked by customs. So what you see here is number of cases since the beginning of March 2024. So when you had to present your proof for goods that were of non-Russian origin. Here you see at the left the reason what happened with these cases. So part of these shipments were released without consequence. So that were about 65 cases. 1/4 of them was due to a misdeclaration of in or out scope. So they were declared as being in scope while they were out scope. Now, luckily, there was no consequence, but you have a delay at that moment. So please be careful, declare it in a correct way. Then we have some cases where an immediate fine was given by customs. So since beginning of March, that were 173 cases. 1/3 of them were because the goods were declared as being out of scope while they were in scope. There is a fixed fine for that, a fine of 1,250 euros. So to avoid this fine, check upfront that the goods are in or out of scope to avoid this fine and delay. Then there were 38 amicable settlements that are settlements given by another customs office. 7 shipments were sent by customs to the public prosecutor. 3 of them because of suspicion of Russian goods, and 4 because of valuation. Of the 7, 2 have been released, and 5 of the shipments are still blocked. Customs is now informing what the status is of these 5 cases. And then there are, at this moment, still 8 pending cases for which we inquire on a regular basis what the status of these shipment is. So in total, from March last year until now, we have 289 cases with customs. This is very little compared to the number of declaration the IMET office makes up. Just to give you an idea, only from the beginning of this year until the end of August, we had almost 34,000 declarations, and there were only 289 issues with customs. And then with FPS economy, there are 64 cases where proof of valuation needs to be presented, but here the goods are not blocked but released. Now we have had some talks with customs related to the fines. We have at this moment an agreement that there is a fixed fine depending on what kind of issue there is. For instance, in Outscope, there is a fixed fine of 1,250 euros. If the value is not declared correctly and you cannot prove the value of the goods, then there will be a fine of 1% of the difference in value. So we have now a very clear situation on how the fines are given by customs. And customs did a calculation, and if they calculate the way of giving fines as they're going to do it right now, then the fines will go down 28% compared to before. So that is already good news. Now, best thing to do, of course, is to avoid fines and delays. So we urge you to check in advance all the information you have on your invoice, KP certificate, packing list. Make sure that the information on the documents is correct. Then provide us or the forwarder the information in an accurate way, completely and in time. Especially the in and out of scope, pay attention to that. It's just a small element, but you avoid the 1,250 fine and the delay. And if you have any doubt about your shipment, ask to do an inventory on your goods. So you can check the contents of your shipment before we declare it to customs. If there is a problem, you can still do the necessary to avoid the fine or the delay of your shipment. The third point I would like to highlight is the new customs application for import that goes into effect as of today. Now, you will not feel a lot about this, except that you will see that your import document will look different as of today. So until now, you received a document from the old customs application PLDA that looked this way. This is only a test document. The new document, the IDMS document, will look this way. So it's slightly different. There is more information on the document, not very important for you. There is one point I would like to highlight, being that you will now find on the document also the name of the buyer of the goods if the buyer is not the same entity as the importer. So then there will be a split on importer and buyer. The banks have been informed about the layout of the document so that you won't have any issues with them for your financing. Yeah. And then the last point, we were informed last week by bpost that there have been some changes in the Universal Postal Convention. And the postal operators worldwide will no longer accept goods as registered mail starting from next year. So you will not be able to send shipments with diamonds as of next year as registered mail or registered mail with declared value. So this decision has been taken worldwide. So bpost advises you to search for another solution to send your shipments if you're used sending goods via bpost. These were the points for the Diamond Office. Thank you for your attention.
Hello. Can I have the first slide, please? So, first, a quick update on KYCP. As you remember, KYCP is the software platform that supports you with your AML KYC obligations. It's a platform that is completely free of charge. It's not obligatory, but we strongly recommend traders to use it in order to improve their compliance with AML legislation. We are happy to announce that we already have created already over 140 user accounts, and that we did already 60 one-on-one training sessions with companies. If you're interested in a user account, you can always contact me via my email that is on the screen, or directly via the AWDC help desk downstairs on the ground floor at the AWDC building. We will also organize some online seminars in October on KYCP for larger groups, but we will inform you about that via a newsletter. Can I have the next slide? Yes. So, talking about anti-money laundering legislation, I also want to inform you that we uploaded a new anti-money laundering seminar on the website Registered Diamond Companies. I advise you to watch the new AML seminar because there are some changes in the law. We also uploaded some new templates, so you can find new client letters on the AWDC website, as well as a new AML policy and an updated AML FAQ. I advise you to use new client and suppliers letters, and from now on, send these to your clients and suppliers. We also have a seminar coming up in the following weeks on how to prepare for an AML inspection. We already do cover this topic in our AML seminars, but we thought it might be interesting if we do a full seminar just on this topic so that you're fully prepared. If you want more information on anti-money laundering legislation or KYCP or compliance in general, you can always email me, or you can find or book a one-on-one session directly in my agenda. You can send me an email and I will share you the link. And then finally, we thought it might be interesting to remind you again of the basic banking law. So this law makes it possible for traders to open a euro or a dollar account, really a trading account, at one of the big 4 banks in Belgium, KBC, ING, Belfius, or BNP. Only, of course, if you do not have another bank account at a Belgian or European credit institution. So if you would have a bank account, for example, at Wise, it does not count as a bank account at a credit institution. So you would still be able to use this law to get another account at one of these major banks. We have contacted some traders recently, and of which we knew that they had an account at the base via the basic banking law, and they're all very satisfied. So they're using the account and it works very good. We're also now supporting around 10 traders that are now in the process of obtaining this bank account. You must take into account that the process takes approximately 2 to 3 months. We are working with my colleague Michael to reduce also the timings of this process with the government. So again, you can make an appointment with me if you like. I can guide you through the procedure and also inform you about other options with regard to bank accounts in the industry. So that's it for compliance. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I only have one slide, which is the next one, which is not really external affairs, but more internal operations. So we're going to organize an AWDC cafe on the topic of cybersecurity. It's going to be on October 30 at noon. Obviously, cybersecurity is a common concern for many companies, including diamond companies, and it's going to remain a concern in the future. So that's why we're organizing this AWDC cafe. The IT company CGK will do a presentation on cybersecurity and the most common risks for companies and SMEs like yours. They will give you some tips and tricks to set up the necessary safeguards, strategy, and infrastructure on cybersecurity. And they will also explain what the government of Flanders can do to assist you, also financially, in improving your or the cybersecurity of your business. After Seheka, we will give the floor to the insurance broker Concordia, and they will give a presentation on cybersecurity insurance. The event is free, and you can register via the AWDC website, which is accessible through this QR code. That's it for me.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for letting me take over. Now we're going to be talking about traceability. As most of you know, on January 1st, we're heading towards the deadline of traceability being mandatory in the European Union. So that's part of the sanctions package. Now, quite a few of you have heard me either reach out about traceability, where we've invested quite a bit of effort into reaching out to mining companies, trading hubs, retailers, industry organizations, but of course here traders in Antwerp and abroad, to get an idea of what the current scope is of traceability and the implementation. With that in mind, we did quite a bit of research and work to guide and support, let's say, the European Union on their efforts. But we've noticed that their lack of effort, or rather lack of standard and norm, is what is holding us back from being able to continue the work that is being done. So the European Commission is also reluctant to take the initiative and the responsibility of what is required, and for us to take this one step further. So at the moment, we're focusing our efforts on convincing the government that it's more feasible to go for a gradual approach rather than an all-encompassing full throttle going ahead. But we will keep you up to speed and posted on the next steps very soon. And then the next topic that we're talking about is the medical relief in Botswana. As some of you or most of you would have heard, at the end of the summer, the Minister of Mines of Botswana reached out to us, informing us of the health crisis that is currently taking place in Botswana. We've worked together with various organizations. We've worked together with a lot of different suppliers in terms of being able to procure medication, but none of this would have been possible without the support of the companies that you currently see on your screen. They were also generous with their support and giving us the finances that we need in order to procure this medication. So we're working with the Minister of Mines, we're working with the task force, we're working with the procurement team, and we're hoping to get them the aid that they deserve and need as quickly as possible, because, you know, we always love to talk about the diamond story and us being one big family. And this was just one of those initiatives where we could prove that. So we're very happy to be part of this initiative, and it wouldn't have been possible without the support of all the sponsors, our board, and like I said, the Minister of Mines of Botswana. Without further ado, I'm going to give the floor back to Karen so she can take us on through the next steps.
So thank you all for listening. I just want to address one more thing that a number of people actually send me messages. You know, we're multi-channel here. Send me on WhatsApp. And I just want to make it very clear that at this point in time, there is no other country that has a 0% exemption. I know there was a screenshot circulating of Botswana getting a 0%. We are working with Botswana, with the minister, to help wherever we can in making that case for a zero exemption, like we're, you know, promoting and advocating for a zero exemption throughout the entire industry, which, as I mentioned earlier, is in the end the goal, or should be the goal. But it's not the case. I do understand that a lot of misinformation is being spread. So once again, my team, Ahalia, Ina, Mikkel, Trisha, Manuela, etc. We've all been working very hard on getting exact information. We don't publish anything until we've checked it twice, thrice, to make sure that the information on our website is correct. I think we've grown into becoming a resource for a lot of people in the industry on what is happening around tariffs. So if you are in doubt, if you have a question, we have a lot of information on our websites /tariffs. So check that, check the FAQ. to make sure that that you have the correct information. So I just wanted to highlight that. And to end, the information in this presentation will also be shared. We have recorded this session as well, and you can find that recording. You will find it very shortly on our website, www.awdc.be. Thank you for joining us, and looking forward to seeing you in our next town hall. Bye.